I'm joined now by the Harriers manager, Phil Brown. Phil, if you've got to go out with the FA Cup, you want to go out with a bang rather than a whimper, really, don't you? And that, in the second half, was more a whimper than a
bang. Yeah, to a certain extent, meaning we didn't score a goal, and how we've not scored a goal, I don't know. But if you ask me the question, did we deserve to lose the game? Yes, because they've scored one goal and we haven't. But to be brutally honest, I need to apologise for my performance more than anything else, not the players. I think my performance today was substandard from what I would imagine the Kidderminster Harriers fans are expecting. They're expecting people to wear the shirt with pride, and I'm picking people who clearly don't wear the shirt with pride. They seem to be flying their own flag more than anything else, and that's not good enough for me. You know, you've got your name on the back of the shirt, and with that in mind, you represent yourself, you represent your own family, etc., etc. But if that's the representation that I'm going to get from a group of players, it's not good enough. So consequently, it's not good enough from me, because I'm picking them. And to be brutally honest, the changes that I made were directly involved with the fact that we missed a lot of chances in the first half. So the players that were missing chances weren't then creating them in the second half, so consequently replaced them. And then you put players on from the bench who didn't look prepared, they didn't look like they wanted to play. They didn't look like they wanted to win the game. They didn't look like they wanted to affect the game. And congratulations to Guiseley for the way they put their bodies on the line defensively. I asked my centre-halves in particular and sitting midfield player to put their bodies on the line to get a clean sheet, because a clean sheet means you're in the hat. And we'll still create chances in the second half. The chances didn't come as often, and the chances were few and far between in the second half because of the resilience of the opposition, which we didn't show enough of. So the apologies go to the fans for turning up, and I like to thank them, but that's not good enough. The standard of play, the standard of finishing, the standard of desire to try and win a game of football is not good enough. And if I was going out there as a player, my pride would be out in front of my ability by a long way, because I didn't have ability really as a player. Might have played 600-700 games, but the ability side of it, I took care of that by being proud of wearing the shirt whoever I was playing for. And there's not enough out there that are wearing the shirt with pride. If there were, it would have been 4-0 up after 20 minutes. It would have been 6 or 7 by half time if necessary. To come in at 0-0 at half time, do you make the substitutions on the front end? Yeah, you could have made substitutions on the front end quite easily, and I wouldn't have thought there would have been any arguments. But some of them are disillusional. Some of the players are thinking they did well enough because we created the chances. Not good enough to me. You create chances to put the ball in the back of the net, and we didn't do that.
I'm sure a lot of people listening to this will be staggered by the fact you said that some of the substitutes weren't ready, they didn't look like they're prepared to get stuck in. I mean, it's a professional football club, that should be taken as a given, surely.
Yeah, I take full responsibility for them not being ready. I take full responsibility for the team that I put out. I take full responsibility that the fact that we missed 10, 11 chances and didn't work the keeper often enough. Consequently, when you get a clear-cut chance, and you can't get a more clear-cut chance than a penalty, we still don't stick the ball in the back of the net. Am I holding Ash Hemmings responsible for that? No, because anybody can miss a penalty. But I am holding the whole team accountable for losing this game. And if you want to call it a punishment, everybody will be in tomorrow. Sunday is a day of rest normally. Sunday is a day of rest and spend time with your families. At the moment, my family is hurting because of the way we're performing. So consequently, we will be in tomorrow, and we will be in on Wednesday. It'll be a 24/7 until we get this right. At the moment, it's not right. It's clearly not right because we've lost the game. And the reasons behind that are there for everybody to see. But if you say the statistics and you want to go by stats, they've had one chance and they've won the game 1-0. Well done to them. End of story. They came here to get something from the game, and they've not just got something from the game, they've won it.
I think it's winning 7 in the league now. You're at the FA Cup. I looked at the team sheet at the start and I thought, well, they've gone in pretty strong, Harriers, looking at that team sheet. Does that mean that ultimately then, on current form, they're not good enough?
Means in current form I'm not good enough. If I was me chairman, I would be thinking about changing the manager. Whether he's thinking that way or not, I don't know. But bottom line is, you just said the stats. And having won 4 out of 5 at the start of the season, everybody wanted to join in, everybody was hunky-dory, everybody wanted to be a part of Kidderminster Harriers' story, because everyone was expecting promotion, everyone was expecting a great cup run, everyone was expecting everything. That's fallen by the wayside. At some stage, the players have to take responsibility for that. And I know I am at the moment, because it's my head on the chopping block and not theirs. But if I was a player, I'd be embarrassed about the performance in the first half, certainly at the business end of the game, and then the performance in the second half just wasn't good enough. You know, we went huff and puff, we started going toe to toe with a team that can quite easily go toe to toe, but I'd be embarrassed to pick the wages up. It's as simple as it gets.
Are you up for the fight in this? Because you sound very down at the moment. You're not thinking of walking away from it at the moment?
I've never walked away from a fight in my life. I've been potted a few times in my life, but I've never walked away from a fight in my life. But I'm just saying, I know what it looks like as a chairman, I know what it looks like as an owner, I know what it looks like as a director of football. They're all looking at the manager. Is he making the right decision? Is he putting the right team out? Well, consequently, you know, at half time you could have said yes. At the start of the game you might have said yes. At the end of the game you're saying no.
So where do you go from here? Obviously you've got them in tomorrow, you've got to work them hard, and then you've got to start picking up league points, obviously. Hard
work. This is hard work at the moment. It's got nothing physical about it, it's purely mental. I'm not going to get up tomorrow morning and start running around like a lunatic. I'm going to get up tomorrow morning and think about what I've done today and what we've done today, and how much of that is am I responsible? Well, as a manager of a football club, you're held accountable for results, and today you've got to say the result was down to me.
Thanks very much for your time.
Thank you.
I know it's very difficult with things at the moment in terms of trying to look at how this might end up being a positive, but it kind of has to be the low point, doesn't it? I suppose they need to take the anger and disappointment they feel in the dressing room and channel that into the league form, and perhaps that way it could be a positive.
I'm not sure if the low point comes in a result, Matty. I don't think the low point comes in performance to a certain extent. The low point comes when you think people that you've employed, and I've employed them. I pick the team, I employ the new players that have come in and the players that have been here for a long time. We've got players here who've been here for 200 games as we were handing shirts out at the start. And I said in the change room, it should be a proud moment when somebody achieves 200 games for a club. It means that they care, or they're good enough. And I think the acts in the first half where supporters were concerned, I've never heard the supporters since I've been at the football club crying out, get him off, get him off. And I think it's detrimental. If truth be known, they should be saying it to me that I shouldn't be picking the player, but I'm picking him because he's good enough. I'm picking him because he creates chances and he's an exciting player in the final third. But consequently, you've got to be held accountable for your performance as a manager, first and foremost, for the team that you select, and as a player for your ability during the 90 minutes, which is on show. The window of opportunity is there for everybody to see. When you fly under the radar, you go below that standard that we created at the start of the season, then you've got to be held accountable, and that's either being rested, being left out altogether, or moving on from the football club, and that applies to me as well.
It's not an easy question, I know, but how do you as manager go about lifting the spirits in whatever way you do it? As you said, it's not necessarily physical work that's needed, but obviously it's a very down group in management office and the training room at the moment, and everyone needs a bit of a boost, don't they?
I don't think they're down for any other reason that we've lost the game that we should have won. But they'll get over it quickly. Managers tend to hang on to that, you know, they hang on to the lessons that they've learned. And the lessons I've learned today is that one or two just don't care enough about playing for Kidderminster Harriers.
That must be hard for you to say from a map.
If I wore a badge, I wear it with pride, and proud or pride went before performance in my game, and I don't think we've got enough that are wearing the shirt with pride.